Hello everybody, welcome back to another video game analysis. Okay, I always make the most awkward intros, don't I? Today we'll be focusing on one of the newest characters in the Mario series, Rosalina. A character I've been growing very fond of lately, and many Mario fans alike. Rosalina, I think is really cool, and she's very different from the Mario series, which is really nice. Someone else I'd like to mention here is Professor BillyVGAB, another not totally new now, but he was still one of the more recent Mario characters introduced. And I probably will reference him a couple more times in the video, because there's some comparison points I want to make between the two characters, but in the end, we're going to focus on Rosalina, because, again, she's a very interesting character, and I think she's worth a look at, so let's take a look. So Rosalina's from
Super Mario Galaxy!
What Mario said. Rosalina, what makes her so interesting is she's really unlike a lot of the Mario characters in which she has an origin story. Now, like Professor BillyVGAB, we pretty much need an origin story because we knew Mario and Luigi and Princess Peach and Bowser and all those characters since 1985, and Rosalina is a brand new character. It was really cool to learn more about her, as we did in this library here that Mario entered. You get different chapters of her origin story through pages, while in Professor BillyVGAB's case, he just really just told you that he's a scientist, he studies, we know that. But Rosalina's much more interesting story. She started off as a little girl on the same planet as Mario. She's also a human who discovers a Luma that straggled from his family and couldn't find them. So she goes in the search. And as time went on, she found that she lost her home and family too. And she couldn't return because at that point, she was taking care of all these Lumas that were her new family. What's really interesting is she's a woman in the Mario universe that we have. She has a known work. Like, she's really more of a queen than a princess. Since Mario in the Galaxy is going bigger than Sunshine or 64 ever did by going into big universe, it's good to have a character represent that, which was Rosalina. She takes care of straggling Lumas and helps them grow into galaxies, power stars, or even planets. She's really interesting, and people in the Mario fanbase really has learned to really like her as time goes on. She can't return to her home because she has such a great responsibility, and you know what? The fact that she plays such an important role and she actually does things is something you can't say about a lot of the women in the Mario series. It's really impressive. I mean, it's like Rosalina has power. She has magical abilities that are given to her by the Lumas, and her lore is interesting too, which makes Galaxy so popular because it's the most lore-based Mario series there is. And the fact that Mario Galaxy 3 is a possibility as far as we know right now, that'd be really cool to see. I want to see more of Rosalina, and thankfully we do. Nintendo realizes that people really like Rosalina. They've really grown to accept her. I've heard comments that it's because she's anti-Miyamoto, where she has a story and whatnot, but I disagree with that to an extent. I do think she's not conventional for a Mario character, but at the same time, I think that she's there to make the Galaxy series stronger, and thus doing so, she became a strong character. That's what I personally feel on that matter. And she moved on to going in a lot of Mario games, not just the Galaxy games. And that's something I wish, I said in the past, I wish Professor BillyVGAB had. I wish he had more emphasis in the series like that, because I like it when Mario introduces new characters, especially heroes. Like, it just adds to the series. BillyVGAB added to Luigi's Mansion the same way Rosalina added to Galaxy. And that's why I wanted to reference BillyVGAB throughout this video, because he has the same idea as Rosalina being a character to strengthen the idea of a new series, but at the same time, Rosalina grown a lot more, and unlike BillyVGAB, whose references are within his Poltergust and his Flood that Mario and Luigi have, and his appearances in the Mario and Luigi games, it's just not enough. But Rosalina, on the other hand, gets that. And the difference is Rosalina is such a strong character, and I think it's also because of the fact that she's a female character. Because when you compare it to the other females in the Mario universe, she's so different. It's such a nice breath of fresh air, and let's just continue on to that idea.
Super Mario 3D World.
I was ecstatic to find out that Rosalina is a playable character in this game, and I think that really solidified my idea, for me anyway. I don't know about, I can't speak for everybody, but that Rosalina is a character that really made an impression. And yeah, I really love what she can do in this game, and this just solidified the fact that, I mean, she was in Mario Kart, she was in Mario Party, and you can expect these things. More characters. Well, she wasn't in Mario Party yet, but I'm sure she'll be in one in the future. She ended up in Mario Kart 7 and all that, and you expect that kind of thing. You know, add to the roster. But the fact that she's in this game, and then she's in Super Smash Brothers, and if she, that's impressive. I find that very impressive. And when you move on to the idea from what we know from Galaxy, you don't really know much about Rosalina, do you? It's something that I was thinking about when I was trying to come up with ideas here, and that was my idea all along. She's really mysterious. We know she's very dignified, she's very serious, she keeps true, but in moments like this in 3D World or Mario Kart, we find that she can be really fun too, fun-loving too. She really enjoys having a good time. I guess in the end, she's human. You know, that's all I can really say in the end. It's what we have here is something really interesting. We have a character who does get serious with her Lumas, but it seems like when she's taking time off to help Mario out, or when she's invited to a little kart racing event, or eventually a party, or even Super Smash Brothers itself, that's impressive. I find a great significance of that, and it leads me to believe, I think, we want to know more about Rosalina. Because, again, we know the other Mario characters, we've known them for years. And BillyVGAB we're learning more and more about too, but not Rosalina. We don't know what she does nowadays, you know?
So yeah, Rosalina comes from the depths of space, one of the most mysterious things out there, and that represents her very well. It's just I try to scratch my head around it, you know. She's another pretty silent protagonist like Mario. She says a few things, and she has some similar traits to Mario of heroism and loyalty. And in the end, it's just like that's all we have to roll on. We know what she does. We know where she came from. But past that, I don't know. Because sometimes in her games, like in 3D World, she has her wahoos and whatnot, and she's all set, you know, and it's like stuff like that makes me feel like she can be pretty spunky, you know. She can really, because I think it's because she does have power. She has her magical abilities. She has a wand that I'm guessing holds that ability, and that's really all we have to go off on. But we can get little hints of who she is. And it's no different than the rest of the Mario crew, particularly in their RPG series. But Rosalina never had an RPG. It was never in an RPG anyway, which I hope they do. Because the fact that Nintendo is really adopting Rosalina so well into the Mario world, and she fits so well, I think putting her in an RPG would make logical sense. In fact, while looking for it just dawned on me while looking through for a picture for the end slate in today's video, I noticed that there was someone made a paper-looking version of her, a Paper Mario version of Rosalina, and that would be awesome. Because I'm really hoping Nintendo makes a Wii U Paper Mario, and for the love of God, they make it Thousand Year Door style. And putting Rosalina in that would be really cool. I can imagine a lot to do with that. You know, mixing elements with Super Paper Mario, a game I think is very underrated, would really strengthen that idea. Like where you can switch characters and have different abilities to explore. I think that's really, really cool. And yeah, Rosalina has a lot of interesting traits about her, but also she can be pretty unexpected. Because at times she stands at the observatory watching your progress. She learns about you. She learns your name is Mario in Galaxy. She helps you out finding your special one because she gave thanks for what Mario was doing in finding power for her observatory, so she can move on with her work. Man, that's pretty interesting, you know.
So yeah, I think it's her work as the care provider of Lumas,
Mario
combined
Kart
with her
8.
wishes of returning home, that makes her interesting too. Rosalina is having a lot of fun coming to Mario Kart. She's having a lot of fun coming to Smash Bros. Because it has her join her fellow humans again. Well, I guess not exactly in Smash Bros, but you know what I mean. She's back on her home planet, which we assume is the same as Mario's. I'm just gonna make that assumption to make my point stronger. She loves returning because remember in Galaxy she goes her observatory comes to the planet for the Star Festival because she likes to. She said to Mario, "This is my favorite place to be." She likes to visit. Just because she can't return home doesn't mean she doesn't visit. And that's why I like. That's why I think Nintendo is probably. That's probably a good idea of why Nintendo wants to make her stronger in other Mario games too. Contrary to BillyVGAB, because they're helping her out with her aspiration of visiting home. You know, maybe she should get a day off once in a while. She has a tough job. She has a care provider is a very challenging work, and especially she has to do it for things that become planets, galaxies, and power stars. It's really cool, and and when Rosalina is in 3D World or in Mario Kart 8, you do notice her fun-loving side. You do notice a different part of her is exposed. And she loves her Lumas too, and she loves doing what she does too. Don't get me wrong; that's very clear within her within the games, but within the Galaxy games. But at the same time, she is a compelling character because she has different feelings like that depending on where she is. Like the other characters in Mario, that's really cool.
So I guess after all that I've said in this video, I guess you can pretty much narrow it down to the fact that Rosalina is a very spirited person. She will have fun, don't you like Mario would, but at the same time she lives up to her responsibility and she's very powerful, and that is Rosalina in general. We still want to know what makes her tick. I mean, because she is definitely the most complicated of all Mario characters we've ever seen. And that's pretty much what it boils down to. I just wanted to go more in detail with each point of that. And that is the character of Rosalina in my eyes. Because again, a lot of things in games, it's all up to interpretation. So, in the end, it's really the fan base, I think, that's exploring Rosalina more. Because she's a character I think was long awaited in the Mario series, where a lot of people do want Mario to be more story-driven, and though I disagree with that, I think Mario should just stick to being what he always was, a plain, happy-go-lucky video game character, because a lot of people always say every Mario game, oh, I hope the next one has more of a story, because there's no story. It's like, I don't care, honestly. I just want to play the levels. I play Mario for his level design. And they did try that in Sunshine, which at the time failed horribly, but now people are loving it. And yeah, you know, let me just be stupid. Let me just do this. Let me just be stupid. I need a haircut. I'm so fun. You know how unprofessional I am. Don't worry about it. But yeah, Mario. I personally think the Mario series, there's nothing wrong with it. I think they could just stick to what it is, because I play for the level design. It's nice though to get stories like Rosalina once in a while in the meantime, because all we need is in the end is something that doesn't complicate everything and make everything like what the hell. Because then you're gonna focus more on the story than you would on the game itself, and I don't know. I think it works well for Metroid or The Legend of Zelda: Have a Story, but not Mario. That's just me. But in the end, with that being said, having a character like Rosalina to learn about on the sidelines is part of what enriched the Galaxy experience. That part of that is part of having stuff like her learning about her origin story in between gameplay. That, I think, is something Mario could have used to enrich the experience. That is what I think makes Rosalina so welcomed in the series. And unlike EGAD, where Nintendo references him once in a while, he had a stage in a board in Mario Party. Wow, Rosalina is a much more definitive character now in the series, and I highly agree with that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. She's a mystery, and we're gonna learn more, and hopefully we'll learn more about her as time goes on. So thank you guys for watching. Next week, I want to take on motion control. I want to analyze types of motion control, see how motion control grew as time goes on, see how it's still going, so not as much, but we'll see where it's going on today.
So thank you all so much for watching. Please help me out. Please give this like, share the video if you liked it. Please show me some support. I'd really appreciate it. If I missed anything, if there's anything that should be added, if I got any wrong information, I'd love to hear it in the comment section. Please help me out with that. And thank you all so much for watching. I've been Billy, your video game analyzer, and I'll see you next time.